There's
but
departments, there's organizations to help those cops get through those type of issues, you know?
there's also organizations to help those neighborhoods, right? Like, you don't always have to call the cops for a domestic disturbance. You know what I mean? But also, a lot of that would be solved if cops were policing the communities they live in.
You're gonna get a bunch of cops from the ghetto?
Yeah. People do that anyway. They police their own neighborhoods.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense because you're bringing in cops who understand the people who live there and probably know the people who live there. I mean, you might have to worry about kind of corruption in the way of, you know.
Oh, they might look the other way if some kid runs out of a fucking liquor store with a beer. Yeah. Oh, a blight on the community, this.
Just like I'm always under the belief, like, so you have 90% of all the cops in America are really good people who know what they're doing, who really love what they do, and they are cops to help spread justice and help keep communities safe. But then you have that 10% who are just terrible.
Well,
and what I'm saying is that unfortunately that 90% always takes the side of that 10%, and that 10% doesn't really feel the justice that they need to, because there's this cop code and this grand centralized community brotherhood, and it's like it can't be that way. If these cops are truly bad cops, these other 90% of these cops can't look the other way.
Isn't that exactly kind of what we're talking about, but the Republican voter?
Well, also, that's what we're talking about with the bad apples.
Yeah.
Like you said, it takes a few bad apples to ruin a protest. It takes a few bad apples to ruin a fucking police precinct.
Right. Something terrible.
I can't really comment on that because I'm white, so I can't really talk about
it.
Like, police are really good and nice to me.
They shine your shoes, right? I saw in the corner, like, as a white guy.
Did or I ever tell you guys by the time we got pulled over?
By the way, our podcasters, he's another friend of ours who
he's the missing member of our gang.
Yeah.
But he's a very private person.
That we will get on this podcast. It is my personal mission.
Even if we'll just have to write his responses in. We just have an empty chair.
I mean, I certainly thought about that, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go in the editing bay and like.
Were you driving?
Bleep out his name. Here's the thing: we weren't driving. We were walking down the street.
What?
And a cop was driving, going in the same direction we were. Right, so it started from behind us.
Oh yeah, when you guys were jogging.
We used to jog, yeah.
Yeah, you weren't even like wearing like any kind of inflammatory clothing or anything. You were wearing jogging shorts, and he's like, "Hey."
Matt, let him tell the story. I haven't heard this
T-shirts and running shoes, and so this fucking guy. He drives past us, and then he flips a bitch like in the middle of the road. It's just like drives up to us and pulls over like right in front of us and jumps out the car. And he's like, "Hey, where are you guys going?" And like for some reason, fucking was totally erratic. And once he got out the car, he was like nice about it. Like, "Hey, how's it going? Where are you guys going? What are you doing?" And we're like, "We were just jogging. Where do you guys live?" It's like, "Well, I live right over there. Do you have any ID?" "No, we were just jogging."
He's like, "I'm full of hydroxycut. I gotta do something with this energy."
And so, like, he questioned us for a couple of minutes and got nothing from us because, like, we're just jogging. And then he left. He was like, "All right."
His notebook was like empty, and they're gonna check it at the end of the day.
Wait. Were you running in front of because maybe he thought chasing you?
No, this was like we walked from my house up to the trail, and then we jog on the trail. Right? So we had finished our jog, and we're just walking back.
Remember we were at your house years ago, Rick? We're all on your porch drinking.
We were laughing at the cops?
The cops, like, they got a flat tire across the way, and, like, they were just staring at it.
There was, like, 8 of them.
Yeah, and then more cop cars showed up, and they all just, like, I don't know what to do. And we were just like, "Oh, my God, you got a flat tire." And, like, they're calling in backup. Holy fuck. Oh, my God.
It was weird.
You're just sitting out there drinking beer like, this is amazing. They're so confused.
Remember that, like, it started with there were 2 cops out there looking at the traffic box, and then, like, a few more showed up, and they were like looking at it. They had it open. The traffic light was acting like a stop sign, right? Where it's just blinking red.
I thought it wasn't a flat tire. It was the traffic.
No, there was eventually a flat tire, but it started with this. So we were like laughing at him, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, the cops are just staring at, like, "Yeah, you can't shoot it. How are you going to solve this problem?"
They tried to tase the tire. Like, oh, I'm out of ideas.
So we're like, while we're standing out there laughing screaming at him for fucking, I don't know, assuming they could fix a traffic light or just, like, what are you even doing? And then some of them left, and the last car had a flat, and then others came back. It was the weirdest, dumbest thing, and we were drunk off our ass.
Your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen.
We were drunk off our asses, sitting on my porch.
Did they hear us? Because we were laughing pretty damn loud.
And it was the middle of the night.
I know, we were all like just sitting out here smoking, drinking, like, oh my God, here comes another car. This is fucking ridiculous. Just the shaking their heads. Fuck.
I kind of have to say with this whole thing with Minnesota, it definitely fucks up Amy Klobuchar's
Oh yeah, she's
fight or bid for the vice presidency. And like, because she was a district attorney over there, right? I can't remember what her position was over in Minnesota before she got to the Senate, but she was thrown the case, or she threw out a couple of cases against that cop that ended up killing George Floyd. So
the thing is, Biden, I mean, he had an okay response, and he looks very old, but he had another thing when he said this is before this, a couple days ago, where he'll choose a VP before August 1st, which seems like a long time, but oh my God, so much can happen before then, and I do not blame him at all. Like, Koshar was like near the top, now she's fucking done. And if
that would have been crazy if he announced her and the shit happened.
Yeah, if he chooses a VP like right now with racial tension, if he chooses like Kamala Harris or something, like that would be great for some, but that would turn off other people. If he chooses, I mean, I still would love Warren because I think that would help unite the party, but it just depends on the week, right? I mean, some shit can happen. Like I would if I was him, I'd like go to the fucking last second, like, shit.
I'm not sure exactly how true this is because I don't know how the state's laws work in Massachusetts, but somebody on Facebook pointed out that if Warren were to become a senator, the Republican governor gets to hand pick a senator for the interim.
There is something about that.
Yeah, and they're weird, and they're worried because
there was actually some way around that.
Well, there's some way around that, but do the Republicans have a way to block their way around? Like, see, I'm worried. See, I don't want Biden to choose a senator because then we'll lose a fucking Senate seat.
Yeah, but we'll only lose it for a short amount of time. We'll only lose it for a short amount of time because isn't her seat up for re-election anyway that year?
I am not sure.
I think it is.
So the governor will choose the person to sit in that Senate seat, and yeah, he'll choose a Republican because there's a Republican governor in Massachusetts, but yet it'll only be filled for like 2 or 3 months before the special election, and special election, but the election in November, and then she'll hopefully.
No, there's not going to be an election next year.
What I was saying about like how fast shit can change. Whitmer, she was nobody, and then COVID came, and then she got headline news because Trump was an asshole to her, and they're like, "Oh, make her VP," and now it's like, well, now someone else. Like, in the news.
Which one is Whitmer? Fuck, I didn't remember this one.
Michigan.
Oh, governor?
Yeah, she's the one that they were like hanging in effigy of those fucking guys. That seems like old news, right? Isn't it crazy? That was like 2 weeks ago.
That was barely a blip on my radar.
Armed militiamen were hanging the woman in like effigy, like with a Barbie doll, and that's like old news now because the world is insane every day.
Because what did you say, Matt?
Every day seems like there's a month I fucked it up. Every day seems like there's a month worth of news. That was gonna be my sign off, and I fucked it up.
In the words of Stephen Colbert, it's important to set up your jokes properly, sir.
In the words of Steve Martin, some people have a way with words, and some people don't have way.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit partial to Stacey Abrams. So
yeah, I like her.
My issue with Abrams is that I think I really like her positions, and I think she's great. But Biden's one of his big flaws is that he has no energy because he's fucking old. Stacey Abrams doesn't have energy. She's just like soft spoken. She's really well spoken, smart as hell, but like she's not gonna bring any fire to the campaign.
In this racist-ass country, like, in order to get a black person elected, they have to be soft-spoken.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't want, like, Al Sharpton or anything, but I mean, like, I think there should be, like, someone that, I mean, Kamala Harris has, like, TV presence and shit. I mean, you have to think about that.
That's true.
Kennedy-Nixon debates in 1960. That shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if Klobuchar's out, I think Kamala's out. I mean, she's got all sorts of problems with her record as DA and Attorney General.
It can happen in the end.
With me with Stacey Abrams, I would really like him to choose her. I just think she's doing a lot right now trying to get African Americans who aren't registered to get them registered and vote and to get them onto the Democratic ticket or not.
I mean, that was the Bernie Sanders strategy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
can you imagine like Trump getting so excited that there's a black person on the opposition team? He's just gonna like, oh my god, all of my racist shit is like, oh, this is gonna be so easy. Oh god.
It's like all the material that I've been holding back at my rallies.
Yeah.
This has been the political episode of the Garage Bar Podcast. Remember that time we wrote an intro? We should have done that for the outro.
Well, Dama, you have anything that you're working on? Anything you want to plug? Right now, I'm kind of in the middle of writing my Communist Manifesto Part 2, even more commie.
I don't know if it's still on because of COVID, but if it is, you can catch me next month at Little Stinker's Ha Ha Hole. I'm gonna have about a 30-minute stand-up routine. I think you'll find it pretty enlightening.
I don't have anything. I forgot to write it down.
Nice. That works for me. All right, gentlemen.
You can visit my website at ducktails69.com /sexy bunny ears.
All right. I'm out of here, gentlemen. I'm going to go and masturbate. So, cheers.
Jesus Christ. Cheers, I guess. Jeez.